All right, guys, 6:40, checking your health watch now. Ever since its discovery in the early 80s, HIV and AIDS has been one of the scariest epidemics we've ever faced. Since then, we figured out how it spreads, but even 30 years later, we're unable to say there's a cure. Currently, there are over 1 million Americans who have HIV/AIDS, and in fact, there are over 4,000 people right here in Colombia alone. What does that mean? Colombia ranks 6th in the nation. 6th. It's here, and it's real. Now, today is National HIV Testing Day, and Elizabeth McLendon is here to talk about why it's so important that you actually today, if you haven't yet, go get tested.
It is, and this is going to be pretty blunt, if you have had sex even one time in the last 30 years of this epidemic and you have not gotten tested, you're being irresponsible, both to yourself and to anybody else that you're having relations with.
Wow. So one time, so anybody under
even
30?
One time, yeah, basically anybody, well, no, anybody who, since the epidemic began in the early 80s, if you've had sex even one time, you're at risk, and if you haven't gotten tested, you're irresponsible.
Now, the numbers are high. I mean, you know, even for Lexington, or excuse me, for Columbia, over 4,000 just in Columbia. That's not the Midlands. That's just Columbia. Where I got that stat from. But a lot of folks don't even realize they have it.
They don't, and that's what it's estimated. No one knows how many people are actually infected that don't know they're infected. But of the people who are well, basically, if I were queen, every single person, every single person in this state who did not already know that she or he was infected would get tested for HIV. And that way we would establish a baseline. And then further, I guarantee you that no person would be unaffected. That wouldn't mean that he or she would be infected. Right. But I can guarantee you that all of us know someone who's HIV positive, even if the person, him or herself, doesn't know that they're positive. So we've got, everyone must get tested. And one of the great advantages to being tested is that if you know you're HIV positive, and you get into care and you take your medicines the way you should, you reduce your infectiousness by 96%.
Wow.
And that saves money because it prevents new infections that are costly. Because 50,000 new infections a year in the United States add up to about $60 billion in additional cost, because it's about $600,000 over a lifetime to treat someone with HIV.
Wow. Well, today, as we talked about, is Get Tested Day for HIV and AIDS, and there's clinics around offering free testing. Of course, you know, you can go out to the Hopkins Park. We talked about that yesterday for some free testing, a family night, 5 to 8. But I know some other areas here in town as well you get tested, right?
PALS is offering testing, Palmetto Age Life Support Services, and the health departments offer testing. Okay, great. Of course, you can log on to MidlandsConnect.com or just go to the DHEC website, and DHEC's going to have all those locations for you as well, just to get tested. National HIV/AIDS Testing Day means across the country, hopefully the world, but certainly across the country, folks will take that extra minute and just go get tested, get their status, know that they're safe. And if you're safe and your partner's safe, you know, you're in relatively good shape. And one more thing, if I could. Sure. On July 22nd, people from all over the world are going to be gathering in Washington, D.C. for the International AIDS Conference, and there will be a march on starting at the Washington Monument at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with Archbishop Desmond Tutu addressing the crowd via live video feed.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I appreciate your time, Ms. McLendon, and what you do for the community, and of course, you know, getting the word out about HIV and AIDS.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You got it, guys. All right, it's 6:44. When we come back, some news in the battle between Samsung and Apple. We're going to tell you what's heating up between the two giants.